I'm back again with another video. Today what kind of inspired this video was Cameron, of course. As I'm putting Cameron to bed to go to sleep because it's currently 10 o'clock at night, I was just thinking about, you know, the things that I had to go through to bring him into this world and the battle, I would say, that I had while pregnant with him. So while I was pregnant with Cameron, I had something called Hyperemesis Gravidarum. Really means it's a severe type of nausea and vomiting while you're pregnant, and it's like morning sickness, but it's so severe that it came up with their own name for it. Hyperemesis gravidarum is no joke at all. It's worse than morning sickness. I've heard of women that went through their entire pregnancy with morning sickness, but hyperemesis gravidarum is beyond morning sickness. It's to the point of where you can't eat, you're barely comfortable, you're nauseous all the time, and things like that. So while I was pregnant with Cameron, my symptoms, of course, was nausea, vomiting. I was having severe motion sickness, which was something that I already had an issue with because I get motion sick very easily, but it was worse than normal. Like, I couldn't even sit in the car for 5 minutes getting from work and back home without getting sick. So with my pregnancy with Cameron, it was a surprise. We had just came back from our anniversary. We've been married 4 years. So we came back from our 4-year anniversary trip. We had went to Vegas, and I was just at home. I had just found out my sister was pregnant the exact day that I found out I was pregnant. Well, the day after. So we were on the phone, we was talking. I was just laughing and talking with my sister about her being pregnant. So Aaron overheard the conversation. So he was like, man, you need to go take a pregnancy test. Like, I got a feeling that you're pregnant. He always says this, like, no matter what. He's always saying, like, I have a feeling that you're pregnant. I'm sure today, if he walked in the room, he would say, I have a feeling that you're pregnant, or Danielle is pregnant. Like, that was his thing. So I'm like, man, like, maybe I am, because I'm not on my period or anything. I didn't come on my period. So I took a pregnancy test. It had the 2 lines. So I'm like, man, I didn't believe it at first. So I took another test, the same 2 lines. So I came out, I was highly upset. At the time, I had one of my friends, Yesenia, staying with us. She didn't have any idea what was going on. I came in the room, I walked right past her, I came in the room, I handed Aaron the pregnancy test, and I was like, just look. And he was like, well, I don't know what this means. I'm like, I'm pregnant. So he's excited, ecstatic. The whole time I'm sitting there just looking like, really? He was excited, he was ecstatic. Like, I just wasn't prepared to have a baby. Like, that wasn't something that was planned. So he's calling everybody on the phone. Oh, Danielle is pregnant, he called his mom and things like that. So I'm on the phone with my sister. I'm like, man, Rosetta, I'm pregnant too. Now what's funny is that me and my sister got married 2 months apart, and then now we're pregnant at the same time. So she's like laughing and giggling, cracking up, laughing, because I gave her the hardest time about her being pregnant. By the time I reached my 8-week period, I woke up one morning and I was just nauseous, like extremely nauseous. So I'm like, man, like, what's going on? Like, I've been fine all this time. I don't know what's going on. So I didn't think of it as anything, because of course, being pregnant, you're to expect being nauseous. Like, that's something that comes along with being pregnant. So I get up that morning, I'm nauseous. I never threw up. I went to work, nauseous the entire day or whatever. So fast forward to probably a week later, still experiencing nausea or everything. And then all of a sudden I woke up one morning and I had the worst, it felt like heartburn, but it was like I had to throw up. So I got up, I ran in the bathroom, I was just throwing up. So Aaron was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get you some ginger ale, some Canada Dry, something to settle your stomach. So he comes back, he had the Canada Dry ginger ale. I took a sip, like this, not even this much of a sip of Canada Dry, and I just threw it all up. Like, whatever was in my stomach from the night before, I threw it up. So I went to the doctor that same week. I had a doctor appointment. So I go to my doctor. I'm like, man, doc, I've been nauseous for the past 2 weeks or whatever. Like, is there anything that you can suggest as far as me to settle my stomach or to help with me being nauseous? So he was like, no, it'll pass. Like, it's just morning sickness. It'll pass. So I'm like, man, like, you know, I'm telling him it's all day sickness. Like, it doesn't go away. Like, I'm always sick. I can't eat. Like, it's really bad. He was like, it'll go away. It'll go away in second trimester. Okay. I didn't think nothing of it. Fast forward a couple more weeks, and I haven't ate since that week. Since I was 8 weeks pregnant, I didn't eat. I hadn't ate anything. So I'm just throwing up. And then it got to a point of where I was throwing up the lining of my stomach. So Aaron's in the bed. He just got off work. He's in the bed asleep. I'm calling him. I called him in the bathroom, like, Aaron, like, I don't know what I just threw up. Like, normally it's just clear, it's yellow. I don't know what this means. He's like, man, that's the lining of your stomach. We gotta go to the hospital. Put some clothes on. We went to the hospital. So we get to the hospital. They admit me right away because I guess because of the fact that I was pregnant. They put me on full fluids because of the fact that they were trying to get an IV in me, and my veins was like completely shot. Like, they had the hardest time finding my veins. So they did ultrasound. The whole time Cameron is okay. Like, nothing's wrong with Cameron. He's fine. They like, there's nothing wrong with him. So they finally got the IV in me. They gave me protein. They gave me sugar just because of the fact that I hadn't ate, and by that time almost a month. So fast forward, they let me out the hospital or whatever. The doctors was just like, you know, it's just morning sickness. The same thing my OB told me. So then I get home. Aaron's like, well, you have to eat something. Like, you got to force yourself to eat. You can't keep going without eating or anything. So I'm like, I don't have an appetite. Like, when I eat, I throw up. So he was like, just eat crackers. So he went and bought all these different types of crackers. He bought saltine crackers, Ritz crackers, all these other crackers. So I ate one cracker, and I ate the cracker like it was the last meal. Like, I was nibbling on it just to make sure that I didn't throw up. About 5 minutes later, I threw up like crazy. And it wasn't even like I had anything in my stomach to throw up. I was just throwing up. So then he was like, man, Danielle, I don't know what to tell you or anything. So my mom was giving me suggestions like, you know, drink the Canada Dry, drink the ginger ale, it'll settle your stomach. The normal stuff people tell you while you're pregnant. Eat crackers, drink ginger ale. So I'm doing this stuff, and I'm still throwing up. Fast forward a couple more weeks, I go see my doctor, my OB, and he's like, you know, it'll pass, it'll go away once you get to your second trimester. I'm like, dude, like, I haven't ate in almost 2 months by this time. Like, you have to give me something. So me and Aaron sat down and talked, and we like, I'm switching doctors. Like, I can't do this. He's passing me off like he doesn't care, or he's just dealt with too many pregnant people that complain about stuff. But it's at this point, it's not me complaining. It's me being actually concerned about my welfare and my baby's welfare. So we switched doctors. That first doctor's visit with my new doctor, he's like, oh, you have Hyperemesis Gravidarum. I'm going to prescribe you Zofran. So me and Aaron looked at each other. We was like, wow, like, that's all we had to do? So he gave me the prescription for the Zofran. We got the Zofran that same day. I followed the instructions the instructions specifically of how they told me to take it. I laid down probably about 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I was throwing up again. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to keep taking it. I kept taking it. Fast forward to a couple of weeks later, the same things started happening. I couldn't eat. couldn't sit still. I couldn't even be in light. Like, the light irritated me to the core. Like, I literally would sit in the room in the dark just because light irritated me. Anything would irritate me. I couldn't even watch TV because of the fact that when Arby's, at the time, I don't know what was going on when I was pregnant, but every other commercial was an Arby's commercial, and it was always, we've got the meats, and I'm just like, it would turn my stomach, and I would like throw up like crazy. So fast forward a couple of weeks later, I'm throwing up, landing on my stomach again. So Aaron was like, well, we're going to the hospital because you still throwing up. They got to do something. I get to the hospital again, having a hard time finding my veins. Do an ultrasound. Cameron is fine. It's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with the baby. It's just me. So they gave me the protein. They gave me the sugar, just to give me something, something to put in my body. So I told the doctor, like, you know, I have hyperemesis gravidarum. My doctor diagnosed me with it. I'm on Zofran. So he was like, well, let's try Diclegis. So Diclegis is another prescription medicine that a lot of cancer patients take to help them with, you know, nausea and things like that. So, okay, cool. We'll try Diclegis. I got the prescription that day. Came home, took Diclegis. Same thing all over again. Couldn't eat, couldn't do anything. So I just dealt with it my entire pregnancy because I had nobody I knew went through this, and it was very little information about hyperemesis gravidarum besides the fact that it was like a severe morning sickness. I took the Diclegis. I tried over-the-counter medicines from the nearest Walgreens. I tried all the medicines for pregnant women with dealing with being sick and all of this, and it's just nothing helped. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, my next battle came. That battle was called preeclampsia. But I think I'm going to do my next video on that one. But stay tuned for that video on how I battled preeclampsia and the progression of my pregnancy. But yeah, I just wanted to raise awareness about hyperemesis gravidarum because I know a lot of people don't know about that, and a lot of people don't necessarily deal with it, and the people that do kind of feel alone like I did. And I just feel like if I put this information out there, I'm gonna post some links as well to some stuff that helps me, that may help some of you guys that's dealing with the same thing as well. But I just say keep on going. Just work your hardest to try to get any little thing into your stomach. Anything that you can eat, anything that you can bear, just deal with it. And as a mate, if you're dealing with a spouse or a significant other that's going through with this, all I can say is just stay strong for them and be there for them. Don't just brush it off as morning sickness. When they tell you that it's something more than morning sickness, listen. And when your doctor is not listening to what you're telling them, you find somebody that's gonna listen. Find someone that is gonna listen or advocate for you, because that's the best thing that you could ever do for yourself and for your baby. But that's it, Danny Gang. So my next video, I think I am going to do it on preeclampsia, because that's something else that I had never heard of as well. But stay tuned, guys. Bye.